It's 1985. Back to the Future is like the hottest thing out there for a 10-year-old kid like me. All I really wanted was a skateboard and a DeLorean. That's all I wanted. That's all I needed in the world. And you know what? I figured out how to get them. And I'm going to help you figure out how you can get them too. I remember mornings in the kitchen with my dad. He'd be sitting there at the kitchen table with his coffee and his newspaper, and he did this thing where he'd reach for his coffee mug without taking his eyes off the paper. And I remember wondering, what the hell is so interesting in that paper that he can't even look away? And it only confused me even more when I looked over his shoulder and saw this stock chart with all these bars and lines and arrows and numbers that didn't make any sense to me at all. But then he explained to me that there are these things called stocks, these millions of little pieces of thousands of different companies, and anyone could buy them, and anyone could sell them. And some people make really good money doing that. And some people do that and only that for a living. You could be your own boss, set your own hours. You just have to learn how to do it.
This is the Steady Trade podcast, powered by StocksToTrade, with young, up and coming, and super handsome rookie Steven Johnson, and the old veteran Tim Bohen. Take it away, guys.
Welcome to the Steady Trade podcast. I'm Tim Bohen, salty old trading veteran extraordinaire.
And I am Steven Johnson, newbie globe hopping trader, even more extraordinaire, because I'm British.
Over the course of the next 6 episodes, we're going to teach you the 6 most important things you need to know about trading. But we're going to do it in a way that, unlike any other podcast that you've ever heard before, because today we are giving away
a brand new car! Roll it in, boys!
Well, maybe not today, per se, and definitely not a brand new car. But would you settle for a brand new Samsung 55-inch 4K Ultra HD TV? Or maybe even an Apple Watch?
Oh, I like those things.
Or how about an Oculus Rift virtual reality bundle? Or maybe you would prefer a Dell Inspiron laptop computer? Or some Bose Soundport wireless earbud?
Oh, I like those things too, Tim.
Or perhaps you would be one of the 5 lucky winners, only 5, who walks away with a whole big thing of Tic Tacs. Man, look at that thing. How big is that thing of Tic Tacs?
That's pretty big.
It's enormous, isn't it?
It's pretty big.
Man, there's got to be, at least 20 bajillion Tic Tacs in this thing.
It's pretty damn big.
Pretty damn big is right. Don't just take my word for it, though, people. He's British. So which of these would you want, Stephen?
Honestly, in the words of Freddie Mercury, I want it all. I want it all.
You want them all?
I want it all. Yeah, truly I do. Every single one and more.
Well, you are a greedy little bastard, aren't you?
I mean, what can I say? I'm British.
Well, I don't really know what that's supposed to mean, but okay, fine. You've convinced me. So how about we make that our grand prize then? Let's call it the greedy little bastard package. You can get every single one of those things. The laptop, the TV, the VR bundle, the Apple Watch, even the headphones.
And what about the Tic Tacs, Tim? What about the Tic Tacs?
Oh yeah, baby.
Woo!
And the Tic Tacs.
Woo!
And that's not all.
No way!
In the words of Steve Jobs.
No way!
Plus, we will throw in a 12-month subscription to StocksToTrade Pro.
No way!
The most comprehensive, active, live trading mentoring program that gives you 12 months access to me, that salty old trading veteran, where you get to see...
He's the king.
You get to see setups every day. You get to see watch lists. You see the built trading plans, all live streamed twice daily.
Woo!
Total package value of more than $6,000. That is the greedy little bastard package. What do you think, Stephen?
Tim, just 4 words. Stop it right now. You're not really planning on giving all that stuff away. There's no way. There's no way.
Hell yes, I am. This is real, people. We're not pulling your leg. Because if there's one thing we can teach you over the course of this podcast, it's that you have to be willing to grind it out, to do the work, to take some risks. Smart risks, though, educated risks. But you got to be willing to put something in before you can take anything out. Of course, the results don't always match the investment. Of course not. But you listeners need to know just how serious we are about the quality and value that this podcast will become for you. We are committed to making this podcast the single most valuable thing you have ever invested your time in. Because not only are we going to entertain you, hopefully, we're going to teach you the difference between long-term investment strategies and day trading, why we have found the success we have trading low-price stocks, and how to make that a consistent system to generate income for you over time.
I'm feeling it, Tim. I'm feeling it. And I'm feeling that I understand what that success looks and feels like.
Exactly. We're going to teach you how to choose the right stocks, what to look for in the news and current events to make the smartest, most educated trades, how to build a trade plan, how to actually enter a trade, and how to break through the learning curve and turn your losing trades into gains. That is the goal, to take what you're doing now, refine it, sharpen that sword, and get a little better each day, make better trades each day. Our goal over season 1 of Steady Trade is to build a foundation to get you started as a day trader that will put you in a position to get the most out of what we do in season 2 and beyond and beyond.
And Tim, I know it's a privilege that I'm on the show and stuff like that, and I don't want to be a dick, but is there any way I can get a new laptop, just because I'm listening?
Now look, most of you listeners won't win any of these amazing prizes. I can't still believe how incredibly big this thing is.
It's pretty big.
But even if all you do is listen, you'll come away with some valuable education. And of course, some of you actually will get some of these prizes as well. At least one of you out there will come out of this with a new lifestyle.
A better lifestyle.
Well, if you consider in having all the tools and know-how to achieve financial independence, a better lifestyle, then yeah, a better lifestyle.
So, Tim, what on earth do I have to do to get my hands on those big Tic Tacs?
These big Tic Tacs? Woo! Here's how it's going to work. We are publishing this first episode on Monday, September 4th, 2017. Anytime between today and October 2nd, go to our website, www.steadytrade.com. Register and take the brief survey we will provide for this first episode. Then rinse and repeat every week. With each episode, we will provide another survey on our website. Each survey you fill out enters you for a chance to win all of these prizes. And here's the most important part. On Tuesday, October 3rd at 12 p.m. Eastern. Okay, remember that date. Tuesday, October 3rd, 12 p.m. Eastern. We will hold a live 60-minute video podcast where we pull names out of a hat to select our winners.
Are you really going to use a hat? I've not seen people use a hat in a long time.
A real hat, a really big, I'm visualizing a 10-gallon cowboy hat. Do you know what a cowboy is over there on the other side of the ocean?
$5.95, baby. They speak like that.
But here's the most important part. We're going to be doing this live.
But Tim, I'm not used to doing stuff live. We normally do things dead. It's going to be deadly live, or it's going to be dead live. Are we doing it dead live?
Well, I guess if you consider pre-recorded, meticulously polished, handcrafted by hipsters in Portland, Oregon, then yes, we normally do things dead. But when we select our winners, that will be live. And if we pick your name, we will call you on the phone live on Tuesday, October 3rd, between 12 and 1 p.m. Eastern. If you don't pick up that call,
nothing for you.
We pick another name. Too bad. So sad. It sucks to be you.
But they still get to keep the free education from listening to the podcast. It's not like once they receive it, they've got it. It's not like Men in Black where we're going to flash the white thing in the face.
That is true. And really, we have the prizes to incentivize everybody to stick around and maximize their education. I mean, we really have designed this podcast as an educational product first. We want to see you be successful. So yeah, even if you listen in and you don't win, you're still going to get value. You're still going to walk away from here smarter. And that's ultimately the goal. If you want to be a day trader, an investor, if you want to be involved in finance, you have to have that growth mindset. And you always got to be looking for new ways to get better and smarter. And hopefully that will be the goal of this podcast.
Or if you just like big things, if you just like something that's really big, or Tic Tacs.
That is true. Now, let's get on to this episode.
Welcome to the Steady Trade Podcast. I am your host, Tim Bohen, here with my wacky foreign sidekick, Steven Johnson. How's it going, Steven?
It's pretty extraordinary. I'm having an extraordinary day.
So is it a brilliant day?
Brilliant.
Or just an extraordinary day?
Well, I was just about to say I'm having a brilliant life.
According to the Guinness commercials, you guys always say brilliant all the time. Brilliant, brilliant.
Americans just can't say the word brilliant.
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 I'm having a brilliant year this year, and getting into stocks, getting into trading, it's been pretty outrageous, but it's been pretty amazing too.
Again, I am Tim Bohen. I have a lifelong interest in finance. I actually distinctly remember being interested in stock tickers in elementary school, read the Wall Street Journal in high school, was a young entrepreneur, had a business mowing lawns, had a business back in the 80s building custom software, went through into college and was actually delivering pizzas for 3 or 4 years, was the top performing pizza delivery guy in the chain I worked in. So set records across the board.
We've got an order here for a large meat lover's pizza, extra sausage.
I'm sorry?
But, would have a little bit of money and started, this is back in the mid 90s. So that was the mutual fund boom. If you're an old crusty guy like me, you'll remember when mutual funds were all the rage. Everybody wanted in. There were hundreds, thousands of funds. I started out with one putting in about $50 a month, and it worked. But obviously, when you've got a couple $100, you can still have several percentage point gains, and you're making $20 over 3 months. But it got me interested in trading, interested in finance, and dabbled in the what I like to call, you'll hear me use this term a lot, the Warren Buffett model.
Warren Edward Buffett, born August 30th, 1930, is an American business magnate, considered to be one of the most successful investors in the world, with a total net worth of $73.3 billion. Way to go, Warren.
I guess it works for Warren when you have a 60-year time frame and you have billions of dollars in outside investors.
I don't want Warren Buffett. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I don't even want to know who Warren Buffett is. From your generation is kind of Warren Buffett. My generation is with Facebook, with Twitter, with Snapchat, we're instant. We want everything right now. We don't want newspapers anymore. We want online media. I don't want Warren Buffett. I want to know how to make money now in the market.
I would do that. I would invest in, quote unquote, real companies that I believed in. And it worked, but was just too slow. I didn't have maybe the patience or I wanted to make real money investing, not a couple percent over a couple years. And that's great for your retirement fund. That's great for your 401k or your IRA. But I'd always had this dream, this idea of trading full time and of making substantial money, not a couple percent over a couple years. There were huge moves in stocks, but I was in boring Coca-Cola because of Warren Buffett versus Microsoft or Apple or Lucent or any of these huge runners through the Y2K explosion. Lots of years of that boring performance. Comes 2007, 2008. We have the financial crisis.
You know what? Right now, breaking news here: stocks all around the world are tanking because of the crisis.
Many hundreds.
Again, if you were around then, you'll know huge swings up and down in the markets. And that's when I finally said, you know what? I missed Y2K. I've been dabbling in this for, at that point, 25 years, going back to my elementary story. I'm ready to really actually take this serious and make the dream come true, basically. And that's when I discovered.
My name is Tim Sykes, and I teach people to trade stocks. I am a self-made multimillionaire, and I am the #1 ranked trader out of 60,000 on Covestor. I got started in high school, and I turned my bar mitzvah money of $12,000 into $2 million. I'm from a middle-class neighborhood. This was big money. Besides just making money for myself, I love helping others make money. So I have thousands of students now in over 60 countries. I've done a lot of press because my story is rather unique. I've been on CNN, CNBC, Fox.
Finally, 2007, 2008, I started trading momentum stocks, long and short, but mostly short selling. And that's when I found consistent profits and finally realized the goal of making, $500, $1,000 a day. Now, not every day, mind you, but to the point where now I had developed a skill that could make me consistent profits in the market. A few years after that, come 2013, I diligently got up at 4:35 a.m. every day doing research, picking stocks, making trade plans. So now we're up to 2013. I had built my skill set, was consistently profitable, and actually sold my business to go into trading full time. And I've been doing it since 2013. And, now we fast forward to 2016, 2017. I've become involved with StocksToTrade as a product specialist as well as trainer, and am now blossoming out into finance even more as the host of the Steady Trade podcast. So that was the Cliff Notes version. I know it ran on a little long, but I tried to combine 25 years into 10 minutes. So how about you, Stephen?
Okay, well, if I was going to say mine, I would say Tim. I'm scared to tell you mine because you sound like you've had a kind of a successful, driven career, and for mine, it's not been like that. It's been a bit up and down, a bit unpredictable, a bit bumpy. I mean, in some regards, I'd say we're kind of polar opposites. Apart from the pizza, I think we have the pizza in common.
I got a hot sausage here with your name on it.
I think you have the wrong address.
Well, keep in mind, you are, I just condensed my 25-year arc into that. There were obviously many, many, many ups and downs that I left out. You are beginning in this journey, so it's a little bit of a different timeline, obviously.
No, but I mean, for me, I was a guy growing up in Newcastle. Newcastle's got a kind of a shipyard history, and I always knew that I wanted more, but I didn't know how to get it. And my family is very obsessive. My mom's obsessive about ping pong. My brother's obsessive about starting a business. And
your mom plays ping pong?
Yeah, she's pretty good at it. She'll probably be listening to this.
I, again, not to brag, but I like to. I've got a strong ping pong game. So I was like visualizing potentially someday I'm sure I will meet your mom. I was like looking forward to putting the beat down on her.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been pretty dedicated. I grew up playing the guitar and playing the drums, and I was playing like 10 hours a day. I was super obsessive about things. And then I turned like 16 and I discovered alcohol and women, and I don't want to go too much onto it because I don't want to be censored on the first episode of the show.
Oh, behave.
And then I discovered poker, and I was playing poker. And I got obsessive about poker, and I was playing poker 10 hours a day. Got good at it. Yeah, I'll never forget, there was an Australian guy called Joe Hashim, and he used to speak like, "Good day, mate, how you going? How you going?" He was like, "Round of the shrimp on the barbie." And he won the 2005 World Series of Poker, and I was like, this is it. Like, no matter how hard it is, I'm gonna be this guy. And it just all went up in smoke. At first, I thought I had bad luck, but over time, I realized that the players were just better than I was. And it was a tough one to take, but luckily, I had enough sense to think, do you know what it is? I went out there with £10,000 that I'd made playing poker, roughly.
Now remember, I'm an American. That means absolutely nothing to me. How much is that in like real money, aka US dollars?
$18,000.
Oh, geez! Oh, wow. Okay, so real money. Okay, all right. I didn't know if like £10,000 was like $50 or what. I didn't know.
It probably is after we left the EU, but back at the time. Back in the time, it was like $18,000. I lost about $10,000. And then I was just thought, you know what it is? Stop this. I'm not going to be Joe Hashim. I'm not going to win the World Series of Poker. Go and travel and see the beautiful sights of Australia. Have a social life. Meet some people. Reevaluate and get back on it. So I went to university. I studied copywriting. I was pretty good at it. Got a good job in a public relations journalism firm. Then went on to an advertising company. Had a 5-year relationship with a beautiful Swedish girl. And then when that ended, I was like, I'm not finding happiness in drinking. I'm not finding happiness in and advertising and copywriting so much as I was. Like, I love creating content, but not for other agencies. I wanted to do it for myself. Right. And this is when I got into Tim Sykes.
I come from this world of full transparency. It's not just about making money. It's about being honest. And being honest on Wall Street is sadly a revolutionary concept.
And of course I was like, Tim Sykes, like, this is a total scam. Like, this is a total scam when I saw the ad on the internet. And then I thought, you know what it is? I'm going to use video journalism skills, and I'm going to investigate this guy, and I'm going to sign up to his course, learn for a year, and then I'll see where I'm at. And so I did. And then slowly, I started figuring out he was real. It was transparent.
And then this also kind of brings us to the podcast too, but also, you know, your YouTube channel. So you were kind of taking this as, you know, you mentioned that you enjoyed creating. So you were taking kind of this journey into trading also as a creative outlet in essence too.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been a creative, and I was watching these videos on YouTube, and it was like, you know, like 45-year-old women, and they're like, oh, I've lost 2 pounds this week. And like, oh, I've lost another pound this week.
You know, Stephen, I'm a little offended by that voice you just used there. That was a very sexist, a sexist and offensive imitation of a 45-year-old woman.
No, I'm sorry. I don't know how to do a better voice. It's like I'm not even going to do it. But like, there was like weight loss videos, and they were creating these videos where it was like, I've lost 1 pound, I've lost another pound, and I did it by this diet and this diet and the paleo diet and the keto diet. And I was like, do you know what it is? No one in the world has ever gone from not knowing anything about the stock market to being successful in the stock market. No one has ever documented their entire journey week by week on YouTube. And I thought, light bulb went off, and I was like, I will be the first person in the world to do this. And then when I realized that I was the only one in the world to do it, this insane, insatiable, unsurmountable drive came through me, and it's been coming through me for the last 13 months, and I can't stop and I can't slow down, and I'm building in support, and it's building an audience, and it's
because that's again, you know, one of the goals, you know, part of this, you know, segment is so that you, the listener, can get to know us. But that's one of the reasons we Stephen is on the show and I'm on the show is kind of the difference between, you know, I'm on my 25 plus year journey into trading, and Stephen is on his 13-month journey. So that's what we're trying to bring to you, is a little bit of both sides of this, because it's a journey for everybody. I don't care if you've been, I bring up Warren Buffett a lot. Warren Buffett is not done on the trading journey. He is learning something every day. I mean, he talks about reading 500 pages a day. Why does Warren read 500 pages a day? Because it's constantly about learning and evolving, and that's kind of what you're showing with your YouTube channel.
I agree with that, apart from the fact that I just don't agree with Warren Buffett. I mean, I don't want Warren Buffett.
Oh yeah, my point is, I wish, this is where I'm jealous of you, and I'm jealous of a lot of our listeners. Is again at 43
because I'm handsome.
It's
debatable.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, my friend. But but I wish I had the internet in the 80s and 90s when because one of the reasons I was quote unquote duped into the Warren Buffett model is I didn't have the information that you have. I'm reading Fortune magazine and I'm thinking this is the way to go. So I'm jealous of you.
No, honestly, it's a beautiful generation. This generation of YouTube and how people can co-create content, it's an amazing thing. And I'm pleased that I can be part of this podcast to tell people it's not lies. It's not lies. It's real. It's real. You're real. I'm real. There's real people through the microphone. We'll see some of them at Orlando's conference. This is real, and you can make money, but you've got to enjoy learning. You've got to enjoy the process.
And again, that's that is the whole thing. You're never done. Okay. I don't care where I'm at. I don't care whether 60-year-old trader at or an 18-year-old trader. You're never done. It's a journey. It's a process. And you have, and we'll talk about that a lot on these podcasts. You have to have a growth mindset. What is working today? This is kind of summer going into fall of 2017. What is working right now in trading was not working in the spring and fall. I mean, last spring and winter and fall, we were trading, you, me, most day traders, all these $1 and $2 stocks. That is not working in the summer. We're trading $20 stocks. So it's constantly evolving, constantly changing, and you have to have that mindset.
Yeah, no, you've got to be open to change, and you've got to be open to learning. And I just want to say one thing, just because I feel I'll get it in now. But when I first started the YouTube channel, so many people hated on it. And that's the sad thing about some things. Like, people don't want to see success. Like, most of the people who watch the channel wrote horrible comments. You're going to run out of money. You're going to quit. You're not going to keep it out. But honestly, there is no haters anymore. There's only people saying he's nearly there. He's nearly there. All the haters are gone. They've been shut up.
You know, it's interesting. I think it's because so many, again, I think, and again, we're going to talk a lot about discipline and routine and that. I think one of the reasons you get that so much in trading is so many have dabbled, and dabbled is the right term, and they've never taken it seriously. They either fail or they have very limited success, and then they just say it can't be done. And that's why you get so much hate, because once they see someone that is making it work and is more diligent than they were, then they look in and they're like, well, geez, maybe the reason I failed was because I half-assed it. And then that's where you get the hate.
But honestly, it's like, for me, like, I mean, my winning percentage when I was starting 10, 20%, I mean,
oh yeah, you know,
but this month alone, I'm coming around 60, 70%, and I'm like green 6 out of 8. Not a lot, because I've messed up on tries, because I do have a tendency to go back to me darker, crazy days. But it's like, these people, they just don't get it. I'm like, it's not even extraordinary amounts of effort. I'm not a genius. Like we always laugh about saying how we forgot what the tickers were yesterday, but like, I only ever did it like 2-3 hours a day every day, but I was consistent 3 hours a day for a year.
Well, yeah, but that's exactly what I'm saying. You just said you were doing 2 to 3 hours a day every day. I know I get emails from guys and gals every day that are, you know, they're you know, they just want picks, they just want to chase, you know, they go on Twitter, they try and trade the number one trending ticker on Twitter, and then they're like, this doesn't work. You can't do it, you know.
When I get the question, how many hours do I have to do to be successful? I'm like, you have to do as many hours as it takes.
Exactly.
Don't ask how many, do how many hours it takes.
But you're totally right. You know, it's like, you know, they did that where, and you mentioned this before, you know, people want results quick, which I have no problem with wanting results quick. But you have to know, I don't care if you're mowing lawns, trimming trees, sweeping floors, you got to grind. You're not going to get that success that quickly. So when, you know, Stephen, one of the things that I get a lot is, you know, and everybody talks about this 90% of day traders that fail. And I think that one of the reasons so many fail is they're looking for the easy route. You know, they want picks. I mean, you've probably run into that before. You post a YouTube video about a specific ticker, and then you get people asking you for picks.
Yeah, and honestly, I get it, but like, cause it's like, for me, cause I've just gone through the process of like kind of finding me feet and coming green, and it's like learning a language almost, or it's like having to go through another life of being. I can't describe it. It's difficult to describe. It's difficult to teach. You've got to nurture people through it, but it's so difficult to find who you are as a trader and craft your identity and see what works for you.
You know, I really like your language analogy, because it's a lot like that. I mean, it is a process. You know, again, as the lead trainer and product specialist for StocksToTrade, and I've had an active blog about finance. I post watch lists. I post ideas to Twitter, and so often you'll get you know, I'll get an email or a DM on Twitter, you know, what do you think about this ticker? Should I buy it? And it's like, that is so wrong. That is just like learning a language, like you said. And that's like knowing how to say hello, you know, where is the bathroom? Okay. If you know how to, go to a foreign country and know how to ask where the bathroom is, you know, you're probably going to have a hard time making it. You know, you need to know a lot more than that. And that might not be the best analogy, but so many guys know enough to know that stocks move, but they don't willing to dig deeper and start looking at the patterns. I call it, and you've heard me say this a lot.
Building the case.
I call it and looking at charts till your eyes bleed. And you had mentioned it earlier, about how much time does it take? It takes a lot of time, but it takes a different amount of time for each person.
But honestly, Tim, as well, I have to say, like, when I joined StocksToTrade Pro, I was like, oh my God, an hour with Tim Bohen in the morning, an hour with Tim Bohen in the evening. I was like, I'm just going to follow what he does, because it's literally, no, but I thought, and you know what it is? When I followed you, I lost. And then Tim Sykes said this to me when I was out in Italy. He said, Stephen, you can't follow what Tim Bohen does.
Yep. You've
got to not look at the patterns that he's trading. You've got to figure out what process he went through to identify those patterns as the patterns that he did successfully.
I say all the time, one of my favorite book, and I'll probably actually do a review on this book, is Ayn Rand's Fountainhead. And everybody should read it, in my opinion. It's an old book. It's 700 pages, but basically the core tenet is being a free thinker, being your own man, your own woman. And what I do, and it's funny you mentioned like Tim Sykes, when I know there is another prominent trader in a stock, I will not trade it because I want it to be my idea. Okay. And you will never succeed if you're using other people's ideas.
Now, I make a point now. Like, I will make a point. If you get into a trade, if I didn't think of the idea first, I won't get into it. I'm like, I'm not taking one's idea. I'm not taking it because it's not my idea. It's not my plan. I don't know where to get out. And I don't feel comfortable in your trade. I feel comfortable in my trade. That gives me the feeling. I've seen this before. And I know what's going to happen.
And I tell you, I have followed alerts. Back in the day, I followed alerts, and
I don't believe it.
it's the truth. It's the truth. And it's weird because your mindset, and it takes you a while to figure this out, but your mindset will be jacked because once the trade isn't working, it's not your idea. So now you start saying, oh, well, Stephen, this was his idea. This will work. It will break back out, Exactly. So now and it just completely messes up your mindset.
Exactly. And I've been caught in a trade, but you were in and it dropped. And I thought, well, Tim Bohen's in this, so it's going to be fine. But then it dropped. But for me, I know, like, if this behaves just a little bit like this, then I'm out immediately because I know it's warning sign and I've seen it before. Like AVEO yesterday. I mean, it's time sensitive, I know, because this is pre-recorded, but AVEO, I was thinking, should I jump in on the short on this? But I knew, I was like, you know what it is? It drops and then it only goes down 2% and then it'll go red-green later on in the day. I've seen it before. And a lot of it is just like watching the Tim Sykes lessons, watching StocksToTrade Pro, thinking that pattern looks good, that pattern looks good, then looking for that pattern again and again and again and again until your eyes bleed, like you said. And then you start to become familiar with it and then you can trade it.
And, I always say with trading, and that's where you need the experience, and a lot of guys will find success early. You can make money day one trading knowing absolutely nothing. Okay. It can happen. It's rare, but it can happen. But so many people try and rush it. You have to see these patterns. You have to see the charts. And my favorite saying is, history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. Okay. And just like you said on AVEO, you were thinking about one trade, but you're like, no, I've seen this before. I've seen it before. This is what I'm going to do instead. How did you do that? It's because you're 13 months into your journey.
Hey everybody, Stephen Johnson here. Don't forget to head over to our website, SteadyTrade.com. You can register and fill out a survey for today's episode. And normally surveys are boring, but for you get the chance to win a greedy little bastard package. And hang on a second, if none of you go and register, maybe that greedy little bastard package can be mine. Ugh, never mind, forget what I said. Go to the website, give some feedback, tell us that I'm great, tell us that I suck, tell me that I'm terrible at this and I should never do it again and I should not be on YouTube either and I should just go back to my normal job in advertising. But fill out the civvy, you'll stand a chance of winning the prize, and take a look at my YouTube videos. You will not believe how handsome I actually am. Girls and guys, like, whatever, like, just check it out.
Hi, this is Monica from Louisville, Kentucky, and I like to drink bourbon in my prize-winning derby hat while listening to Stephen and Tim on the Steady Trade podcast. You can register to win real, actual prizes at their website, SteadyTrade.com. And if you really like what you hear, give the guys a 5-star rating and write a short review on iTunes. I did. And this is how we say goodbye in Louisville.
One of the reasons that always has attracted me to day trading is I'm not looking to make that single digit type return. You know, I'm up every day at 4:30 a.m. because I know that trading is about eating what you kill. Nobody's going to help me. No one's going to assist me. It's me against the market. And that type of adrenaline, that type of adventure, that type of unknown, you know, totally out of your comfort zone, literally every day, is what gives me the motivation and gives me the drive to pursue those gains, like in past years where I've made 20, 25%, even 40% in a year. It is, in my opinion, the best, most interesting adventure that is also rewarding to you financially. It can help you do anything you want to do. And again, I'm as much of a eat what you kill guy as there is. That's what attracts me to the markets.